Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is April 12th, 2018, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, starting out at 1:30 South African time, coming out of the European Union ECB monetary policy. That is an important monetary policy minutes. That's basically a review just like the OFMC meeting minutes. Very similar. It is also a recount of the last rate decision and some of the effects as it's going into effect. So that's an important event that's coming out at 1:30. And then later this evening, Bank of England Governor Carney will be speaking, so that should affect the GBP. Lots happening in the markets, and let's take a look. So we're jumping here into a daily chart of the Euro USD. And as you can see, we've been trading within this range of 125 and 122. And this is how important this 122 level was the other day. Starting out Monday, that we rallied to 123.60-ish level. It has been really a baseline for the Euro USD, as you can see here. So we're right in the smack in the middle of these two ranges, looking at a bigger picture. So this could go one or two ways, obviously. It could, close into this upper limit of 125, or it could sell off. So, we're really at a support resistance line right now as we're trading going into today's session and the remainder of this week. So I don't want to jump into any, and the Euro ECB monetary policy minutes happens to be happening today. Okay, so it's kind of incidental. It's not. Okay, and there's a reason why it's in midpoint. Okay, I think there needs to be some sort of confirmation as to the future of where the Euro USD is going to be heading, and I think that's why it's trading in this area. Okay, so I don't have a buy or sell signal right now, but just be aware that this number is coming out at 130 and that we're in the smack middle of this move. Okay, I mean, looking at a weekly chart just to give you an idea of where we've been trading, this has really been the tightest range that we've been trading ever since our, even from before, even from when we traded between 108 and 105, we traded within a 300 pip range. Here we're trading in something like a 100 pip range or 200 pip range, but it's really, you could see that most of the candle, okay, is in a much tighter range, okay, between 122, 85, 90-ish level and 123.60-ish level. So that's a 50 pip range, okay? So, that's something that you have to consider, that if it does break out on the upside, it's going to break out, or if it doesn't, then it's going to correct itself on the downside, and we could see ourselves being in a little bit more volatile area. That's the point of this conversation. The point of me saying is that we've been in a very tight range, 70 pip range, and with that said, if we're going to break above it or break below it, it's going to be an indicator to the future of the euro. So looking at the GBP USD, we haven't really sold off here so much, okay, from our weekly rally that we had to 142, 118-ish level, and we're selling off just mildly. The question is that are we going to continue this rally? And I'd like to see some sort of confirmation. Maybe, Governor Carney will be speaking and give us some indication of that. Now, jumping into the USD ZAR, we finally sold off here from 1213-ish level down to 1196. Now, this was really hanging out here for a long time and playing a little bit of the bulls and the bears here, a little bit of a plug and chug, and there wasn't really, any confirmation. It confused you a lot because it really didn't, come in quickly enough and didn't sell off just as the other times that it did. Okay, it kind of hung out in this trading range for a while until it corrected itself down to 1196. Now we're at 1196. Ultimately speaking, our next support level is 180. Okay, so nothing really to talk, to discuss in terms of, how much further we could sell off. But if we do bounce off to this 12 level, that might be a place to actually short it in the continuation of it. USD Japanese yen still, really in a tight range. Okay, nothing really to write home about it, but it has been selling off decently and trading within this 106 and 105-ish level. This is sometimes where you have to take your eye off and focus on other things. And we see, somebody asked me what's going on with the USD Japanese yen. So, That's what I'm bringing in right here. But looking to the commodities, has been trading. Okay, now we had this massive rally in gold all the way up to 1358, and this is really going on the economic or social political issues around the world with what's going on in Syria, kind of the exchanges that America is having with Russia, proxy war with Iran. This whole situation is just based on, what the concerns are of any developments, in terms of any sort of confrontations, war or whatever, okay? And that's really what's happened here. And the markets don't like confrontations, okay? And as such, price of gold is usually the place where people, place their trust when there's a little bit of unsettlement, let's call it, in the market. So we traded all the way up as 1355. We didn't break higher, okay? We sold off. We had a nice spike all the way up to 1365, but we've sold off and we're trading here at 1350. So this might be really interesting if it does sell off here and continue to sell back to the 1333 level. That's something to look at as this continues to trade. Now looking at the USD CAD, we sold off to 125.87. We haven't continued to sell off here, okay, after we've broken this lower limit. However, if we look at the price of oil, new highs for the year, 67.05, massive rally, okay? The past couple of days, we've traded $5 within 1 week, okay, which is a really great trade. So volatility is back, uncertainty in the market is there, and it usually is going to be affected by the commodities. Commodities usually rallying when there's uncertainty, and sure enough, this is the case right here. So we did have oil inventories number come out. So we're at $67 a barrel. What do we do here? Okay, so looking at a daily chart, you could see that it's all-time highs. The question is this going to really be sustaining itself, okay, above the $66.50 range, or is it going to be selling off in just a nice spike and just because of what's been happening? So we have a nice upwards trend, but the question is, are we going to sell off towards that? So I would look to some sort of pivot move. If it does, I don't think there's going to be consistency in this. I don't think there's going to be follow through. I think there's going to be a little bit of a sell-off, okay? However, if it doesn't sell off, okay, because Fred has been wrong before, I would look to pick it up at 66.70. That might be a actually element of previous resistance, subsequent support. So that might happen, okay? So just be aware of it. Looking at the Dow Jones, not much going on yesterday. Down day for 200 points. Really because of what's going on, the uncertainty of Syria. But we are looking like we're setting ourselves up for a wedge formation, okay? Let me just highlight that. That would be a wedge, okay? And the question is it going to be up or is it going to be down? Usually these wedge formations have been before on the downside, okay? But, that's not to say that we might not get a spike, okay? So just be aware of that it is forming a wedge formation, okay? Which is, usually indicative of something that's going to break out either on the upside or the downside. So keep that in mind as that continues to trade. Looking at the DAX as well, we sold off yesterday, closed the gap, as you can see here, and we're trading just at 12,000, just below 12,300-ish level. That might be actually a decent place to actually pick it up. Let's see if we do get that rally today and continued rally on the upside. Looking at the JIC as well, we closed the gap yesterday as well. If you look at that on a 1-hour chart, that was kind of decent, but it's still above the 30-day moving average. If it does sustain this, maybe it looks to continue buying it on the upside. So that's something to look at. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.